By automating trading, you eliminate emotional errors, which are some of the most common mistakes. Additionally, you can take advantage of opportunities instantly, like micro movements. Before jumping into the specific steps, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to TradingView. If you're already familiar with this platform, you can skip this step and go directly to minute 2. The tool that will help us automate is TradingView, a well-known platform due to its ease of use and robustness. Here we are on the main screen, which consists of the chart of a financial asset. In this case, the derivative is Bitcoin futures against the US dollar. You can change it here. You'll find cryptocurrencies, stocks, currencies, indices, and many more from different brokers. The chart has an indicator, and I want you to understand the difference between an indicator and a strategy. An example of an indicator is this one, the Bollinger Bands, and the strategy would be this one. As you can see, the indicator is simply a tool to aid decision-making, while the strategy is the actual decision-making of when to buy or sell. For example, here we see that the strategy decides to buy or sell when the price moves outside the Bollinger Bands, which turns into real-time alerts. We can find many free indicators and strategies on TradingView, like moving averages, volume indicators, and many others, as well as strategies. Since we want to automate, we'll be using a strategy. The advantage of using TradingView is that it allows for backtesting, which means testing strategies with historical data. This allows you to test different combinations of assets with different strategies and timeframes to see which strategy has been more profitable in the past, helping you choose what you want to automate. Imagine that we've already decided that this is the strategy we want to automate. For that, we'll be using the brokercapital.com. If you don't have an account, create one. TradingView is one of their commercial partners. To connect both platforms, we'll use WebhookTrade. If you don't have an account, create one. It's easy to use, and you don't need programming knowledge to automate, which is probably the biggest barrier between those who automate and those who don't. Don't get confused with the option to connect Capital.com with TradingView in the Trading Panel section, as that is not for automation. It only works for viewing information like your Capital.com account balance and open orders. So, with these 3 platforms, let's get started. The first thing you need to do is create an API key in your Capital.com account. To do this, go to Settings, then API Integrations. If you don't see this option enabled, you'll need to activate two-factor authentication. Once that's enabled, you can click Generate API Key, assign it a name and a password, preferably different from your account password. Once ready, click Generate Key. Now it will ask for the code from your two-factor authentication app. And that's it. You now have your API key. Now we move to WebhookTrade. Here, click Connect Capital.com API, then Configure API Key. Enter the email you use on Capital.com. Then paste the API key you just generated. Then, paste the password you assigned to that API key. Once you've filled in all the fields, save the changes, and that's it. You've linked your WebhookTrade key. It's time to start receiving alerts. This is where we'll use TradingView. Once you have the strategy you want to automate ready, click on the strategy name and then on Add Alert. A window will pop up. Replace the default message with a custom message you'll get from WebhookTrade. To do that, in WebhookTrade, click Connect to TradingView, and a page will appear with a section to create your custom message. We'll select our democapital.com account to avoid using real funds. In this case, the asset we're setting an alert for is Bitcoin, so we'll look it up here. On TradingView, it shows as BTCUSD. We'll let this strategy decide whether to buy or sell, and also let it determine how much to buy or sell. We'll leave these two fields blank so the strategy can also handle closing positions. Once it's ready, copy the message and paste it into TradingView. Then, in the notifications section, you'll tell TradingView how to send the alert to WebhookTrade. You'll see these options. WebhookTrade accepts two: webhook or send plain text. If you have a free TradingView account, you'll only have access to the plain text option. In this case, we'll use the webhook URL. Just copy the URL provided by WebhookTrade and paste it here. If you had chosen plain text, you'd need to enter the email they give you and receive a verification code in your personal inbox. But since we use the webhook URL and everything is ready, just click Create. Now the entire order flow is set up. Since our chart is on a 1-minute time frame, the results will show up faster. We'll wait 2 hours to see all the alerts created. Here we are, 2 hours later, where we can see all the orders that were created. We can also see the open trades on capital.com. So we've reached the end of the video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching until the end, and I hope to upload more content soon. See you next time!